Hello, I'm Jesús, Manuel, Mena, Garza. Hope you're having a very nice day. Today I'm going to be talking about and giving my impressions of what's taking place in the Class B motorhome van market, and also what's taking place in the van culture. I'll be looking down on occasion at my laptop to check my notes. By the way, I've owned a Class B van for many, many years. When I lived in San Francisco, I would take it to places that included Lake Tahoe, the Eastern Sierra, all over Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and of course Colorado. Very nice. I love Colorado. So I have experience driving and camping in various locations, including boondocking in a Class B van or motorhome. Let me talk about the benefits of owning a Class B van or motorhome. Number one on my list, and in many persons' lists, is the fact that they're very small and compact. And because they're small and compact, they're also very maneuverable. You can ride them down the highway, on a dirt road, in suburbia, in urban environments, and you don't have any issues. It's just like driving a truck or an SUV, maybe a little bit larger. So because they're so small, you can also park them anywhere you want, pretty much. If you're going to go to the restaurant or go shopping, you can park it in that regular space. You can't do that with a Class A or a Class C, and definitely not with a fifth wheel. It's very difficult to take those into any sort of environment that's outside of the main highway or an RV resort. Class B vans also serve double duty as people haulers. They have like a 3, 4, 5 extra seat belts on them. You got the driver, the passenger, and maybe 4 more seats at the back on some of these vans that have actual seat belts, and even for child safety belts. And you can take the family, on excursions, be they shopping, take them to school, take them to band camp, take them to math camp, wherever you want, and it's very convenient because you have a refrigerator there if they want a beverage, and you can also they can also take a nap, if they need a nap, and park on the side of the road. And of course, you can also go in the bathroom in these units and wash your hands. Of course, they also serve as vehicles where you can go camping. Yes, you can go camping in these, and I've done it many, many times. And it fits almost anywhere you want to go. There's no excuse for those RV parks or national parks or for boondocking that you can't find a space. And often you don't have to even go to the ones with the with the other motorhomes. You can actually park where they do some camping and save some money. So I've done that many, many times, gone camping in this, and felt very comfortable, very warm, very cozy. My wife and I have enjoyed it tremendously. And so you can definitely go camping in a Class B. The main consideration for a lot of individuals, you can't take a lot of people with you. You can't take more than 2 or 3 or maybe sometimes 4 people with you, because there's not that much space. You're limited in space. That's the big downfall of Class Bs, is that you don't have much space. But you sacrifice that because you can go more places and enjoy and do more things. Class Bs also are toy haulers. There are many examples of Class B vehicles out there that have an open area as you open the back hatch, and there's an open area right down the middle where you can put a kayak, a bicycle, any other kind of skiing equipment or snowboards, and it's no problem. Some of the newer ones actually have a large cavernous area, and you can put something even larger in there, but you can't. You got to be within reason. It's not a actual toy hauler, so it's a small toy hauler. And if you want, it also can be considered a limousine for that. I know some manufacturers are touting their Class Bs as essentially limousines. They're marketing them to the more affluent communities of America. The country club set, and they advertise them and market them and have examples at like expensive car shows and car auctions, where they're selling $1 million vehicles. So they're selling these $200,000, $150,000, you know, luxurious Class Bs. So they can be used as limousines. They even actually, you know, they have the 2 front chairs, and they have 2 other chairs, and they have the sofa in the back. So you can, a lot of people can drive down the road very comfortably. They're actually marketing them again. Airstream specifically is marketing them for people that will have second homes. You can go from your first home to your second home, have a beverage on the way, take a nap if you need to, and watch a little TV for the family in the back. You can, you know, it's a very pleasant way to go, and the seats are quite plush. And because one of the things I've noticed in a lot of these more luxurious brands is that they have white seats. Something that's essentially an anathema to campers. You know, you can't get those things dirty. They're you know, if you're going out camping, you're going to get dirt on you. You're going to get stuff on you, and to sit on a white leatherette seat is like, that's not going to work. So these are definitely for people that are dressed up and nice and clean and rarely go outside. The negatives of a Class B are readily apparent to some. Class B units are quite cozy, in fact a little bit too cozy for some. I've gone often to a RV show like here in Fort Worth and Austin or in the San Francisco Bay Area or LA, and heard the complaint from families saying, my God, how am I going to fit my 4 kids in here? My God, they don't have a big screen TV. Look at that bed. It's barely enough for you and I, you know, stuff like that. And they don't like walking down the narrow halls, and there's your kitchen, there's your bathroom, and there's your bed. It's not very much space for them. And of course, typical of most Class Bs, there is a very small amount of space for storage. You know, they have some storage above, storage below. Outside storage is non-existent in most of these Class Bs. They also have very limited tank capacity. So if you're into boondocking, if you want to go out in the middle of Arizona or Texas or Florida and do some boondocking, it's very difficult because you have very small tanks in the Class Bs. Fifth wheel in a Class A is more, they're better designed for boondocking. You can add a lot of solar on those units, and they have big tanks, big waste tanks, so you can stay out there for a whole week, maybe 14 days, and not have to go out and go into town or to the service station to dump your tanks and such. And you can load that gigantic refrigerator with all kinds of food that should last you and your partner for quite a while. And you can also take the kids along if you really wanted to, because there's usually more room in a Class A and a Class C and a fifth wheel. Yes, Class Bs have very limited storage. Again, like I said earlier, you don't have much space in these units. Just have if you want to go somewhere and take a lot of stuff, Class Bs are not perfect for that. You need to buy a toy hauler or a fifth wheel or a Class A or a Class C. And they usually have underneath storage outside that you can access. You can put all your favorite stuff that you desperately need in those units. And the Class B community essentially says, they say to themselves, they rationalize, the existence of a Class B, so that you become a minimalist. You don't necessarily take all the stuff that you think you need. You find out what you really need. You just need some food, some dishes, some water, some outfits. Not every outfit. You're not going to go to the cocktail lounge every night. And you plan your vacations. You go, hey, I'm going to go camping out there, and I'm going to do a certain amount of hiking, and I'm going to take a shower every 2-3 days. In the meantime, I'm taking a sponge bath and using towelettes and stuff like that. I'm not going to take 15 minutes of showers because I'm not at the resort or with hookups. You can, with many Class Bs, go to a resort or a campground with full hookups, but it's not ideal for that. It's not made for that. What's made for that are these A's, C's, and these fifth wheels. If you go to these resorts, it's like home on wheels. Class Bs, I'm going to be very serious with you. They're designed for people on the go. They want to go places and have a lot of fun. And they go a lot of places. They don't go just to a few places. A Class A or a fifth wheel, you're driving down I-5, the 101, I-10, I-35, and you're just going down those highways. You're not going down through from Prescott, Arizona down to Jerome, Arizona, going like this. And I've done that. And at night, it's quite difficult. Again, you're planning your little trip. You're just driving 4 hours, go to that resort. 4 hours, go to that resort, and maybe stay at that resort for 2-3 months or a month. And maybe do some boondocking for another few weeks, and then go to a resort for a few days just to re-energize. And then you go back to boondocking. So there are a lot of options out there for people who want to stay a long time at a location. Class Bs are okay, but again, you sacrifice a lot. But what you gain is a lot of independence. Class B vans are not known for their luxurious, kitchens and bathrooms. They're usually very small. They usually contain just a 2-propane stovetop, maybe a convection micro, maybe just a microwave, and if you're lucky, maybe a stove. But that's about it for the cooking equipment. And the showers are usually wet baths. And sometimes you have to tilt your head in some of these older units just to fit in there. It's not expensive. Again, everything's compact in a Class B. Let me tell you of some of the luxury brands out there selling for $150,000 to $200,000, and they're quite nice. Again, how do you define a luxury brand? They're the ones with the shiny wood, highly glazed wood, and also the white. Typically, they have white leatherette furniture. They're very plush. Sometimes they even have, a couple extra seats. Instead of the first 2 seats, the driver and the passenger, they also have another pair of seats and the sofa in the back. Those are typically touring vans. They take you from point A to point B, and they just happen to have the ability to camp, but they're primarily just glorified limousines. Here are some of the brands. Airstream, Lounge, and Grand Tour, quite nice. And then the Coachman Galleria, beautiful interiors. I love the woodwork in those units. And of course, Winnebago, their Era series. They have, I think, 4 or 5 different eras out there currently. Pleasureway Plateau, one of my favorite brands, beautifully made, and quite a few other brands. If you're interested in, traveling in style, not necessarily camping, but just traveling in style, these are the brands for you. Let me talk about adventure coaches. These are designed for people on the go. They're going to include a lot more storage for bicycles, scuba gear, whatever you want, and they're designed to take stuff. And your living accommodations are minimal at best. They have sometimes a bed that comes down, is not very thick, and that's about it. It's pretty Spartan existence. But it's nice if you're a young person, especially. It's very pleasant because you're going places. You're still healthy. You're still vital. You're going out there and having a great time, with your partner. It's a lot of fun. So these are the brands out there currently in the market. They range from $65,000 to $150,000. Winnebago Revel, which is 4-wheel drive and also has a cavernous back area to put stuff, and the Paseo. Also the Coachman CrossFit. And of course, Heimer Active, which dominates the European market. There's all kinds of them out there, and if you have a chance, check them out. I really am motivated by these. If I had the cash, I would consider something in this genre. I'm I especially like the Paseo. It's a beautiful unit. What types of buyers are there for Class B units? There's the affluent upscale client, which Airstream is really, seriously, marketing their products for. These are individuals that are going to use them just a little bit, just to go from point A to point B, maybe crash at a rest stop once in a great while, or take it to the hotels. And they're going to, have plenty of room for all their, luggage and it's going in style. It's essentially your own personal limousine, and you can take 2, 3, 4 extra people with you. Again, they have the 2 seats in the front and 2 extra seats and a bench in the back. So there's plenty of room for like 6 people. So if you got a family of 2 adults and then 4 children, it's perfect. You know, go from your house in Denver, Colorado, and just drive up the road, and you're going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, for the summer to do some fishing and hanging out in front of the fireplace. It's a great way to go if you have the money and can afford $150,000 to $200,000. Again, you're not going to go out hiking and scuba diving and skiing in these units, because once you come inside, are you going to sit on that white leatherette furniture? Probably not. You're going to have, it's not built for that. It's durable, but it's not going to work. Seriously, it doesn't look right to get all spongy and dirty and muddy white leatherette furniture. That's my opinion. The middle class family buyer looks for something that can serve double duty because they're on a budget. So they're going to buy something that's $60,000 to $100,000, and they're going to use it to go camping, take the kids camping. If they're only have a couple kids, it's perfectly fine. If you have more than that, it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to stay in the tent outside. So you can take the kids camping and have a great time for 3-4 days. Because if you have such small tanks, you're going to have to only go out for a few days, unless you go to a place with hookups. If you go with hookups, you can stay as long as you want, and the kids can enjoy themselves and you can enjoy yourself. They also are good for taking the kids to school. You can take the kids to school in this bus. They can, there's plenty of room back there. Some of them have, again, 4 seats that you can, strap them in and be safe. And it's a great little people hauler. And you can take them to, like I said earlier, math camp, to band camp. You can take them to a football game, the hockey match, whatever sports you're into or events you're into, to concerts, or family events. You can take the whole bunch. And that 6-hour trip is not as bad, because you can always stop on the side of the road. They can go to the restroom. They can grab a soda or beverage, or a nice cool sandwich, and just hang out for a little bit, and then continue down the road and feel comfortable. They can also look at the TV. That's great. Play video games. They have plenty of plugins for your USB stuff, so kids and adults can enjoy themselves on the trip. The adventure sports, buyer, they are usually younger, and I consider myself an adventure sports buyer, even though I'm 66 years old. But they're typically marketing these to 20-somethings and 30-somethings, and they're going out there. You see them looking cool, and they're riding their bicycles out in the country and skiing and snowboarding and having a great time. So you can haul all your stuff. And once you get inside, you don't mind, the furniture is going to look a little, it's just simple cloth furniture that you can wipe off, and you can get a little mussed up, and you may take a shower every 1 or 2 or 3 days, but you can always jump in the river, of course. It might be a little icy, but you can jump in there. So these are great vehicles to go in. These are the adventure sports buyers, and of course you have options. You can get a small unit. You can get a 4-wheel drive unit. You can get a unit with a cavernous back. You can have ski racks, kayak racks, bicycle racks. You can get whatever you want. You can customize it your way. These are the active community. This is the active community. These are not the people that are going to sit in their fifth wheel and watch the cable television and knit all day. And this is a different segment of the market. Finally, we have van dwellers. These are individuals who live in their van year-round. Yes, they live in their van year-round. Some of them are adventure-seeking young kids and adults, and they're traveling around the world and having a great time. Not necessarily the world, they can't go across the ocean in a van, but across the United States, maybe even Latin America and Mexico in their van. And they're young, they can do this. They have no responsibilities, major responsibilities yet, and maybe even they're doing some, online, work. They're working through their, via the internet. They're accessing their jobs. They can do their jobs that way, if they're so lucky. So they're going around and having a great time, you know, swimming, snorkeling, hiking, fishing. What a great, you know, way to live, you know, for a couple of years. So, again, some of them just start doing it for a couple of years, and after that, they decide, it's time to have the family, have some kids, and live in the suburbs and work from 9 to 5. And that's not, you know, that's not a lot of fun. But in the meantime, they're having a great time. Also, van dwellers include people that are forced, because of their economic situation, to live in a van. They only make $600, $900 a month, and they cannot afford that house, to rent a house or an apartment or even a studio apartment in Silicon Valley. They go for $2,000, $3,000, or in Dallas they go for $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. I mean, $1,000. So they're pretty expensive. So they've been, you know, given the boot by our society. Unfortunately, that's essentially what they've been doing. They've been marginalized, and they have to survive on the fringes. So they live in their little van. They build a small, they sometimes buy a used van, you know, 5, 10-year-old van, and they modify it. They put a bed in it. They put a small DC refrigerator which can store a little bit of food. They have a little cooktop, essentially. For most of these folks that I've seen have a little Coleman cooktop, you know, propane stove. And that's their life. They're on the road. They're surviving on the fringes. And they park in the suburbs. They try to look, you know, they don't want to be known. They don't want to be obvious. They're doing it surreptitiously. So, and also they park and they boondock here and there, you know, in areas known that they can have a little camaraderie and live free and survive on that very small check. Sometimes they even drive to Mexico to get medical attention on the you know, to save a couple bucks because they don't have a lot of money. So these are van dwellers on the fringe, and one of the main proponents of that community, the van dwellers, is Bob Wells of RTR fame, the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. He has that every winter in January in Quartzsite, Arizona, where thousands of van dwellers gather, you know, affluent to struggling individuals. And Bob Wells is essentially their evangelist. He's their leader in promoting this lifestyle of trying to survive in current day America. So those are van dwellers. Thanks for checking out my video. My name is Jesús, Manuel, Mena, Garza. I hope it's been useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I would greatly appreciate it. Please leave any comments. Please make them nice also. I would greatly appreciate professional, friendly comments. And I look forward to seeing you on the road. I am a camper. In fact, next week I'm going to down South Texas and doing some camping down there in Big Bend. And I'm going to be doing that for several days. And then I'm coming back to Fort Worth because I have to come back to class. So again, this has been Jesús Manuel Mena Garza. Gracias. Adios. Bye-bye.